I am Matt Chiles, and this is my Lego roller coaster, the Phoenix. This is the third rendition of my coaster. It was first shown in 2002. Took about 2 years from initial concept to working, and now it's working pretty darn good. Coming down here we have the entrance. This guy is too short, Garmadon is too tall, so is the Friends.
So you got to be just the right minifig size.
Just the right height. You can come in, you take the path up here, you can load right here, and oh, it just left the station. Let's see, we'll come back. Well, after you get off, you come out, you go through the gift shop.
Always exit through the gift shop.
Always exit through the gift shop. If you need to use the restrooms, they're back there. But that's just the little details. The main part of this build is this giant roller coaster. You can see him coming up right now. The most challenging part of the build was actually that elevator to the top. There's a lot of tight clearances, and it's a tough build. But once you get to the top, it's all gravity.
Very impressive.
When you get to the station, you can stop, and the station is controlled independently, so you can load new passengers on. If you need to service the train, you can come forward here and then remove the train from the track. To make sure everything's going okay. We're getting a little plastic dust there. Some worn parts, but this has been going continually for about 2 days now. The slopes under here grip the rubber to make it up the hill. This is going to make sure it doesn't fall off the track. The first time I showed this, the way to hold it on the track was not as good. The seat belts were not as good as they are now with these click hinges. And we lost about 60 or 70 riders.
Okay. Not a very good record.
It was pretty gruesome. We have not lost anybody this show, and I hope to keep it that way, even with our catastrophic chain break yesterday.
There you go. So great improvement in the safety record.
Yes. The power is all supplied by a 9-volt train controller from the 90s, and it's hooked to a total of 4 XL motors to get you to the top, and there are 3 older 9-volt motors controlling all the station area. Takes 12 minifigures on a great ride. It has been cloned at least 2 other times by third parties. One just like this was shown in at Lego World 5 or 6 years ago now. It's been a while, but I saw pictures online, and I also saw one up in Edmonton, Canada. Okay. So if you go to my website, which you'll have to Google and you can find it, you can see pretty much how to build one by looking at all the close-up pictures. The parts, the critical parts, were all available as of 1991. So theoretically, you could have built this, essentially this working roller coaster, in 1991. And if you want, I can show you a detail on how the track is set up.
Yeah.
This is 4.5 volt train tracks from the 1980s, set on edge here. This is a little bit closer clearance than they're naturally designed for, to make sure it doesn't fall through. So this is how the loops and the hills are made. The flat areas, are made by taking the same tracks and attaching them pony ear style, like on the old Yellow Castle horses, pony ears to the sides here, so that the train can ride on and is locked in. And that's the roller coaster.
Very nice. And I think one of the probably most impressive parts is this giant loop here. So talk about some of the struggles of creating that part and what are the issues there. Does the car have a tendency to fall off there? Is that a big problem area of the coaster?
The loop was definitely a difficult thing. The loop was a thing that convinced me to actually build this coaster. I figured if I could build the loop, then the rest of the coaster was worth building. So I spent a couple of months building prototype loops with prototype hills and just jamming the train car down it and seeing if it could make it around the loop. And when I got successful doing that, I knew everything else would fall into place.
Okay. And was this based off of any real-life coaster or just kind of all from your imagination?
It's all from my imagination, just kind of how it worked out, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you bring this to a show, what's it take to set up? Is it in a bunch of different sections? How does that process work?
Yes, it's in a bunch of different sections, a total of about 10 or 12 major components. The main base table breaks into 3 parts, and they fit in the back of the Suburban with all the seats out. And then the towers are all designed to be removed. They've got codes on them to assist in putting the right towers back in the right spots. And then the various parts of the track come out in large sections and are designed to hold together and fasten, hopefully securely.
There you go. Now, you built this before. I think some third-party companies popped up that started making kind of Lego-compatible roller coaster track. Have you tried any of those now in more recent years?
I have not tried any, but I do want to try them. I think it's great that there's different methods of doing that. I've seen a couple of other Lego-only roller coasters out there that have been very impressive also. I can't say I'm the only Lego roller coaster like I could originally. So I'm down to just the first. The one thing special about this roller coaster is it's 100% genuine Lego parts, no modified parts, no cutting, no glue. So it's stock, and pretty much everything's legal, with the exception of maybe the loop, which has a bit of a torque in it, so that might not be considered legal.
There you go, though. Besides that, though, it's all parts you can pick up from Lego sets and everything, so yes. It's very impressive. How tall is the whole thing?
It's a little over 5 feet tall. When I'm working on it at home, I keep it on the floor so that I can easily reach everything.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for bringing it back out and showing it again at this show. Is this the last showing, or do you plan to take it on tour here a little bit?
This is the first show in the last 9 years. It was last shown 9 years ago, so I'm hoping that I can show it a little more often in the future. So if all goes well, I'm hoping to be up at Bricks Cascade, or excuse me, BrickCon in Seattle, and after that we will see.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for chatting with me about the build. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.